Well, it's really nice to have these newer style locomotives in terms of how they're powered. Twin vertical can motors with flywheels and all that. And then with the MTH with the proto sound and all that. Sometimes it's just fun to go back to the whole toy side of it. I mean, that's where I started. I know most of the kids today didn't, but back in the 50s and the 60s, a lot of this started as toy trains, not model trains. That's something that was always there, I guess, but that was more the adult thing. And now it's the norm, not the exception, because the marketplace seems to be those who've picked up an interest from a more serious modeling perspective versus just having electric trains as toys. You know, and I saw that as a good thing for kids because you learn about physics and electricity and mechanical objects, and there's all kinds of things that go along with that. But so what I want to do today is to go back to some of those toy routes and just have some fun running some of the smaller 027 and more toy-like trains. Of course, you know I love my Lionel Alcos. It's not like I don't have a few to run. But, yeah. Well, this is literally how it started for me. I had one of these, and this is possibly it because it's missing one of the guys. I think this was my first gang car from, I don't know, 1962, 1963. And this was the locomotive my dad gave me in 1962. There it be, right there. Very first train, didn't even have a car. Had an LW transformer, a loop of track. That was one Christmas along with this locomotive, and then next year it was one of these and a couple of cars. But this was where my journey with toy trains started, literally right there. Well, I spent countless hours as a young kid watching that thing go around in circles in an oval, then a figure eight, then a bigger oval, then a couple of switches, usually wintertime, not so much summertime, and come home after school and go down to the basement and run the trains. That was, that was what I did. Of course, now adult, a life later, and grandkids, and a couple of careers and all that. It's kind of interesting how you fall back into things like this. So, me being who I am, of course, I wanted to share that with my kids and grandkids, so we did that. But rediscovered, it's sometimes just fun watch these things go around in circles. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be prototypical or anything else. Sometimes it's just fun watching the toys do their thing. You know, in reality, what's the big difference? I mean, it's got a motor, wheels, got a shell on it, and you can put a whole lot of money making them look more and more realistic. But really, how realistic are they as compared to the real deal, like you see up there on the CSX main line? And got to keep things in perspective once in a while. So, in that spirit, you know, I've been picking up bits and pieces. Kind of keep the toy spirit alive. How about one of these? Now, this is probably 50s or 60s, but this has got to be 40s until early 50s. It's a Marx brand, and I believe it's a 999, but I'm not sure. All stamped tin. 70 plus years old. Let's see if it runs. Well, there's one thing for sure is you have to pay attention to them because they get going pretty quick. Well, we've had our first train wreck, right? Well, not the first, but... So let me get this one going here first before I try to Casey Jones this one again. So let's get this guy going. Well, it looks like we had some kind of a derailment because tripped the circuit breaker on the transformer. So let's go into the track and see if we can figure out how to get it moving again. I wonder if that hammer can fix it. Yeah, I can see the front pile of wheels came off. Get them back on. It should go, right? Yeah. What do you think, Bears? Well, let me set this back in there. Back in business. So let's see if we are, in fact, back in business. So you can probably tell there was quite a difference in quality for the entry-level toy trains, right? Let's see if we can get this guy around. But my takeaway is this would have been fun for me. I would watch it go around just like I watched the gang car go around in this. Of course, the Lionel with its magnet traction, one of the beauties about these was those fat axles, which held the thing to the ground. So I had less train wrecks with my magnet traction Alco. Lord knows I tried. So, what else do we have? Well, how about another Marx? This one a 666. And you can see the similarities, right? It's really the same basic motor design, if not the same motor exactly. But that's got a die-cast body, which means it's heavier. Can pull more trains. But I guess this is a case if it works, you know. No need to reinvent the wheel and come up with a whole new drive system. If they can still make the one that worked during this era work 10, 15 years later in something like this. But I would say this Mark 666 would be competitive in its marketplace to the Lionel Scouts. So let's just see if that one runs all these years later. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to get some runtime. Kind of brings back memories. I'll work on that one to see if I can make it run a little more consistently, That one definitely needs service. Of course, they always kind of growled a little bit. That one always did. I'd say this is more of a contemporary, the locomotive, to the Lionel. And while it may be further down the cost totem pole, it runs pretty good for what it is, you know. Kind of a goofy design, but it is what it is, you know. It runs. It's cool. And I love these. And because I do, I think we need to go to the next phase of this little video. Yeah, look what I found on eBay. And so I have two more. And I typically will see whether or not they have a reasonable price. And if they are, I'll buy them. So let's look at the first one. And check it out. The rollers don't have a whole lot of time on them. It's dry as a bone, so it's going to need to be lubricated before I even try to run it. It's got some loss of paint, which is typical. Probably rattled around in a box for 30 years. It's got the horn. It's got the E-unit. This is an original. This is actually an original. It looks like it's a low-hour original that probably had most of its wear and tear right in a box. So I'm not going to run it right now because I want to take it apart and make sure I lubricate that locomotive and do that properly. It looks clean, clean, clean on the inside. Let me put the camera down and see what the other one looks like. Well, it's a hot day. Here's our first train for the day. And EMD up front.